A new season, a new park life, and a new face as well. Finally, after 185 days, League football is back at St James's Park as City take on Port Vale this afternoon.
Ball control. To control with Jay. Jay shot takes a massive deflection and loses. Sparks plays it in and it's not at home.
We start with a look back at last Saturday's action as City opened the season with a 2-2 draw against Salford City. Joel Randall and Matt Jay were both on the score sheet. Let's take a look at the best bits.
Salford City look to make it an equally impressive start to their League 2 campaign as they host Exeter City. Have to get their defensive heads into gear right now. Armstrong just giving it inside, the support on the overlap coming as well. Threckland was ignored, it's a good ball into the box and it's turned in by Ian Henderson. Lovely pass into that right channel. There might be a chance for an equaliser here, ballooned over by Matt Jay. Good pressure off the ball from the visitors. Now there's another chance here to find the equaliser, and this time it is tucked in by Matt Jay. 2-2 for the forward after scoring in midweek on the Checker Trade Trophy. This finish, just a lovely clipped effort into the bottom corner. Hunter forced backwards. And that's a mistake at the back. Could be costly as well. They go short with the set piece. Collins rolls it back and it's flung into the area. There's still plenty of bodies forward. Not gone out of play yet either. Off the top of the crossbar. And the follow-up's turned in eventually. Joel Randall with the final touch. And Exeter have flipped the script. Have been all over the place in the last few minutes. The frame of the goal initially denying Exeter before Randall. Cracking ball over the top. Jay does really well too. And this could be number 3 already. Scoop towards goal. And it's going to find a way past the keeper. Hunter didn't strike it cleanly, but it was Law to whip it in. Towards that near post, it's punched away by Halaki. That's the full-time whistle. Honours even on the opening day of the League 2 season for Salford City and Exeter City.
This week's cover star in the Grecian Matchday programme is midfielder Archie Collins. You can download the programme digitally or get a physical copy online. Programme editor Will Barrett asks some of the questions that you put to him on social media.
Let's have a look. Al Baker says, "Hi Archie. What do you get up to in your time?" So what do you do away from football?
Not a lot. I've started to not teach myself, but I'm trying to learn golf at the moment because a lot of the players do take that up as a hobby. And when they do like trips and they go out on the Wednesday with our day off to like go golfing, I'm not invited. I just don't play, so I'm never there. So I'm learning that at the moment, and I'm also doing a Open University degree. Just started my 3rd year in that, so and doing that in sports exercise and coaching. Apart from that, spend time with my girlfriend and my family, really, and my friends.
So you say you don't do much, but you do get up to quite a bit then. So learning new things to yourself, and obviously, spending time with family is really important.
Yeah.
That's spot on, man. Chris Martz, he's got a couple of questions. Did you see yourself reaching almost 100 appearances for the club? Do you still remember your debut? And he also puts, "It's been an honour watching you." So for Chris, did you?
Thank you. Yeah,
did you think you'd make 100 appearances and more?
Never really thought about it, but obviously I would love to achieve that for Exeter. That'd be unbelievable. And my competitive debut was against Chelsea back along, but my league debut was when I got brought on against Cheltenham when we won 3-1, just for a couple of minutes, just to get the experience of it. But yeah, I do remember it very well.
That'll do. You picked up the win.
Yeah.
They're out. Corey asked, why did you change to the number 10 this season? 10's a good number, isn't it? So
yeah.
Was there a reason?
Not really. The coaching staff gave me an option if I wanted to change to that number, and I couldn't turn it down really.
You can't turn down the number 10, can you?
No.
You just can't, mate. You've earned it as
Where,
well. So
wherever I play, I can't turn that down.
get on sound. Where are we? Couple more. What are we looking at? Exeter City polls. Who's your roommate on away trips? And are there any nicknames that and I've just added in that you can share.
Yeah. No, we obviously did share last year, and we shared from the weekend. Last year it was Ben Seymour that I roomed with most of the year, but Ben wasn't with us on the weekend, so I shared with Joe. And I think Joe wants to share with me more often now because he obviously scored. So we're gonna have to speak to Ben about it. You won't be too happy.
Yeah. You're the lucky charm. The new number 9 will have to find a different roommate. Who we got? Jim Dale, BBC. Archie, this is random, but Archie, if Nicky Law was a robot, and you knew that Nicky Law was a robot, but Nicky Law didn't know he was a robot, would you power him down when he wasn't looking?
Power him down?
Yeah, would you turn him off?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. We'll see if he can review this one again now, mate. And then the final one, Neil Ackland. I have to ask this one. Neil Ackland says, Oasis or Blur?
Oasis.
Oh, that's the right answer. You hit the jackpot right at the end. And Archie, thank you so much. Just thanks for talking to us. Keep backing yourself. Keep doing what you do. And we all hope you have another quality season in a City shirt.
Thank you very much.
Port Vale started the season last weekend with a 2-0 win over Crawley Town. On Thursday, we caught up with manager Matt Taylor to see what he expects against today's opposition.
I think both teams showed last weekend that they want to compete at the right end of the table. So I'm expecting a good game. Really pleased with our performance last weekend. Disappointed we didn't take the maximum amount of points, but pleased with our performance. And that's a platform, hopefully, to get our first win of the season.
And of course, we've had a really impressive home record over the past season or so here at SJP. I mean, obviously, we could look to continue that. Yeah, definitely. The home form for a number of seasons, and even before my time as manager, was strong and always has been strong. You want to continue that. You want to win your games, your home games. You'll do that by performing well. It's such a shame because the atmosphere at the park for a long time now has been fantastic, and I know the players really enjoy playing there. So we're certainly going to miss the fans. It's how we adapt to the new environment. We've had a little bit of experience of obviously the Forest Green game this season, and the Colchester playoff game towards the end of last season. But then it'll be week in, week out, and how we respond to the fact that there's no fans there at present. Hopefully that will change in the near future. But in the meantime, we've just got to take care of our own performance, and hopefully that turns into results. After scoring his first league goal for the Grecians in last week's draw at Salford, we caught up with Joel Randall, who gave his thoughts about the game ahead.
I know they had a good win on the weekend, so they'll be in good form. I think they'll fancy themselves coming down here, but I think we got a good draw on the weekend, and we're looking to get those 3 points on Saturday back at the park. Obviously, that draw last weekend included your goal. I mean, that was an amazing moment for you to get your first league goal for City. And I mean, for you this season, looking ahead, what are your ambitions? Where are you looking to be this season? I just want to play as many games in League Two, to be honest. I think that would be a great season, personally, for me to try and get as many 90 minutes in as possible, as many starts, and whatever comes off the back of that, whether it be goals or assists and wins, really, that's just my main aim. And obviously linking up really well with MJ and Lewis down the side, we saw at Salford. And is that what you'll be looking to do most of the season, is linking up with those guys and creating as many chances as you can? Yeah, I think down that left side, we've got a nice little partnership going on, and hopefully we can sort of build on that as we play more together. But it's definitely a way we can create and get forward down that side with me, Pagey, and obviously MJ coming over and playing as well. It seems to work well so far, so hopefully we can carry on doing that. As well as that, we also caught up with Joel to find out the best and the worst of what goes on in the dressing room. Who's your best friend in the team? Will Dean. Who do you roommate with?
It was a Jose, Nicky Jose, but on Saturday I roomed with Archie Collins, so I think me and Archie might have to stay together after that goal.
Who's got the worst car?
I'd be up there. Alex Hartridge, he's got like a purple Fiesta. I've got a red one, but he's got like a purple one, so I think he has to take that.
Who's got the worst fashion sense?
Lewis Ward. Everything he wears is red for some reason. I don't know why. He says it's a coincidence, but I don't think it is.
We think we know the answer to this one, but who takes longest to do their hair?
Ooh. Why? MJ maybe? I don't know. Me, I'm probably up there again.
You were up there in the office discussion earlier, I can tell you that.
Was I? Yeah, I'm probably up there.
Out of all the lads who have tattoos, who's got the worst?
I don't know. I'll say Bowman.
Who's the dressing room DJ?
MJ, I think. Yeah, MJ.
And who's the best singer?
Josh Key. Yeah, he's got a great voice.
Yes, we've heard that one. I think we need to get a video of that one, I think.
Yeah.
Who would make the best future manager?
I don't know. Jakey maybe, just because he's a good captain, so maybe he'd be a good manager.
Who's always the last one to arrive?
Randall, he cuts it fine. He's always close to being late.
Who's the best at playing FIFA?
Randall again apparently is, but I think I'd back myself in a game. But I think Randall's got the shout of being the best.
Might put that one to the test. Who's the smartest?
No. Alex Hartridge, I think he's quite smart. I think he's quite smart.
Who would you most like to be stranded on a desert island with?
Probably, Dina or Ben. Ben's quite funny. Give me some good laughs.
And the opposite, who'd you least like to be stuck on a desert island with?
Probably Kai. He'd probably bore me to death.
Who would you most want to make you dinner? Who's the
Nige. I think Nige could cook up a good 3-course meal.
Some French cuisine in there.
Yeah.
And last one for me, who's the teacher's pet?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I'll say Nicky Law.
Thanks, mate. That's all done. You're going to get absolutely rinsed for these answers.
Oh, mate, I know. I'm going to get slaughtered, aren't I?
Of course, times are tough at the moment, and we'd much rather you were here on the big bank with us today. But you can watch from home, get an iFollow pass. It's only £10, and some of that money goes to the club as well. So help the club, but stay home and stay safe, and support the city. You can't be with us here at St James's Park, but you can show your support and show your colours from the joys of your own sofa. We're here with another new face at St James's Park this season, head of ticketing and retail, Sarah Williams. Sarah, how's it been going since we reopened here?
Well, the shop is open again now, so we're open 10 till 4, Monday to Friday. Unfortunately, not match days until, obviously, we're back after COVID.
And so what else have we got coming up in the shop this season? I mean, there's some more items coming in?
We have, as always, our full free kits, home, away and third. What's coming up for us? Well, let me tell you, we've got some exciting product coming in. We have the full training outfit, so top, pants, the 3/4 zip and backpacks, which will all be in hopefully next week, so those will go on sale.
And obviously the shop is now entirely COVID secure as well.
It is indeed, yes. So we have sanitising stations. We obviously advise that you wear a mask if you're coming into the store. We have a maximum capacity of 10 people just to ensure that we can socially distance at 2 metres apart. And also all of our surfaces are sanitised on a regular basis throughout the day.
So I'm joined by Matt Kimberley from the commercial team. Before we get on to the commercial opportunities at the club this season, how do you think the game's going to go on Saturday?
No idea, to be honest. I don't know much about them. The only thing that stands out for me was the Hiram goal that was here before. I think he took it on his left foot and smashed it in the top corner. So that was one of the standout moments from that season. Great game, but I don't know too much about them, to be fair. So who knows? I'd like to think, particularly here, we can get a win. So we'll have to wait and see, I suppose.
And obviously there's no fans in the stadium so far at the moment this season, but there's still plenty of opportunities for businesses and local people to get involved with the club.
Yeah, there is. I mean, we've been very grateful with the support we've had, particularly from a lot of the long-standing sponsors. You know, a lot of them are or have been entitled to refunds, but because of their sort of feeling of togetherness within the club, they haven't asked for that. You know, something we're very grateful of. With regards to opportunities going forward, yes, there aren't so many eyes in the ground looking at your branding, but there's still LED advertising available, and we're looking at more digital opportunities now to try and engage outside of the stadium. And we've found that because a lot of people can't come in, there's more of an uptake with that. So particularly with the matchday programme, you've got your full page advertising. We've got a bit of space available, and also with the LED advertising boards just in front of us here, directly opposite the TV gantry, which picked up on iFollow, as well as the photographs on matchday as well. So there's a lot going on, not necessarily just within the stadium, but there's further afield as well.
And if anyone, is interested, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, either give us a call on the club number. We tend to be here, the commercial team are here during the week, so we're happy to show people around. I know it's a bit restricted at the moment. Failing that, my email is matt.kimberley@ecfc.co.uk. Again, happy to send some information out, but if you want to pop in and have a cup of tea, we can show you around. It's a little bit easier.
Morning, Scott.
Hello, Will.
Hi, Scott. How you doing?
So we're in the museum room, Will.
You are in the museum room.
Talk us through a little bit about what's in here.
Yeah, so this is the museum room at St James Park. So it's part of a heritage-funded project that we did a couple of years ago, part of a series of 3. So we're now on the celebrating our heritage part of the trilogy, and the museum room is part of a broader sort of programme of work to celebrate our club and the trust. All across the stadium. So there's loads of displays. So it's not just this room. The museum is kind of stadium-wide approach. It's for all the fans, really. So it's all out in the Red Square and in the stands and various other places, including the Hall of Fame, which is definitely worth checking out in the Stagecoach stand when fans can return.
And like I say, the museum room is predominantly used as well on the tours of St James Park, which sadly can't operate at the moment. But when they can come back, it's definitely worth a visit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think people really should take in the tours if they've not had a chance. It's a way of looking at the stadium, in a different way to the matchday experience, and there's lots more to it. It kind of mixes the story of the football club, the history, along with the modern matchday experience. So you see the changing rooms and all the behind the scenes spaces here at the park, but you also get to hear a bit about how the club was founded and the various adventures we've been on along the way. So definitely worth an hour or so of someone's time or a group's time. So as soon as those can start again, then we'll definitely be promoting them and get people here, get people involved.
What kind of items have you got in it, and how did you come about a lot of it? Quite a lot of it's been donated, hasn't it?
It's massive. It's really relied on fans and the community. That's the whole point. It's the history is the people's history. It's the club's history, not ours. So we've got thousands of items. We really started sort of 6 years ago, but of course the club started hundreds of years ago, and so people have been collecting things for years. But now we've got a space where they can be looked after properly and researched properly, and we have lots of club volunteers. We have volunteers from the University of Exeter come in, so sort of turned it into what we say: collect, preserve, share, and celebrate the history. But it provides sort of learning opportunities for people, which I think is a nice way to do that. Football's a good way of getting involved and learning about stuff. So it's been very enjoyable to do, and enjoyable and valuable for people who've connected with it.
As part of this little mini series, I think we're going to get you to pick out one of your maybe favourite or most interesting items from the archive.
Definitely.
So what have you got for us today?
Well, as I said, we've got thousands of items. We've got tens of thousands of photographs now. But one little item that I've picked out today is, you want to zoom in on that, it's a season ticket from the 1920-21 season, which of course was 100 years ago, and it was our first season in the English Football League as a professional football club. So that's it's a very unique item, and again, it's another item that was donated to us. It was brought to an event that we did, and we were asked if we would like it, and of course we would, because it's pretty special. It's quite an amazing little object in itself. It's very different to the season ticket that you would.
I was going to say,
today.
In modern times, everything seems to get smaller. Yet we seem to have gone the opposite.
No,
and the season ticket is about 10 times the size.
This is compact. It just says on the front, the Exeter City Football Club season 1920-21 ground admission ticket.
So is there anything inside?
Yeah, so it's in this sort of little folder, in this little case, and open it up, and it's quite simple. It's pre-photocopier day, so not so much risk of forgery. And then you just open it up, and it really couldn't be more basic. It's numbered. So it's number 467. Has the holder's name, his address, and issued by, which is Sid Thomas, who's in the Hall of Fame that I mentioned earlier. And it has the little stamp and the price.
A little cheaper than today's prices, looks like, as well.
It's a touch cheaper. I've not worked out the rate of exchange, the historic rate of exchange, but yeah, you'd imagine it's a touch cheaper. But it explains what the ticket's for, and it was only for league matches only. But it's quite exciting to think 100 years ago someone was coming into the ground with this lovely little item to come and see that first game against Brentford.
What was the score that day?
It was 3-0. It was 3-0, and 3 debutants scored 3 goals. So it was a perfect start to the season. There was around 5,500-6,000 fans at kick-off, and then there was about 7,000 people by the end of the game, just sort of descending on the park. So yeah, to think that someone sort of came up with this, excited about the new league season, went through the turnstile by the old grandstand, which is a bit more agricultural than even the one that we just replaced. Walked up the stairs into the ground, packed stand, and a really, really amazing football game for them to come and watch. So it's a treasured item. If we were doing this in Antiques Roadshow style,
what do you reckon it's worth?
You'd probably ask me what it's worth, but of course, with most of the items we have here,
priceless, aren't they?
It's priceless, Scotty. This one in particular is priceless. It's one of a kind, and for it to have survived 100 years. Given the material that it's made out of, is quite amazing, and so that's really one of the purposes of the museum work we do here, is to make sure this stuff is looked after and preserved for future generations, and for people like me to witter on about it.
And any ideas what you were going to talk to us about next week?
Next week we'll see how the games go. I'm gonna have a little think about matches and things that might fit. There's dozens of items that I particularly like, so I won't give anything away now, but I'm sure it'll be something interesting.
Thank you, Will.
Thank you, Scott.
So we're joined with David Gribble, a passionate Exeter City fan who runs a blog on the club, which has been pretty popular over the last sort of 6 months. David, how did your Exeter City journey begin?
So I started watching Exeter about 1993, I think it was. We started off with a game against Wrexham here at the park. We won 5-0 that day. It was downhill from there on for the next couple of years, sadly, but that's where it all started. Ronnie Jepson scored 4 that day. Pound to get in. That was it for me, really. I was hooked.
I mean, what's been the highlights for you over the time, would you say?
Definitely the Tisdale era. I think anybody who experienced the kind of mid to late 90s would say that when Paul came in, it really changed for the better. The promotion at Wembley, and also getting into League One. And at that time, League One was a tremendous league. Southampton, Leeds, Norwich, some really big sides in there. So that was probably, I think it was about 2008. It's probably the most exciting season I've experienced.
I mean, you're coming up to sort of nearly 30 years a City fan. Obviously, this is something all fans have never experienced before, not being able to go to the games. I mean, from a fan's perspective, what's that like, having to watch from home?
It's not been too bad because of the streaming facility and that. I think it'd feel a lot worse if all you got was kind of radio commentary, kind of feel like supporting a football team of the 30s or something like that. It's completely different, but it's not been too bad, but you miss out on the community side of it. There are a lot of people that I only see through football, and you miss out on a lot of that. And also just kind of being as part of a support. I think that's a major pull to coming to league games and experiencing live football. So I think that's really what you miss out on the most.
Absolutely. I mean, you started your blog, what must be 6 to 12 months ago now. I mean, how did that come about, and do you find maybe it's even more important now that you're doing such a thing?
Yeah, I started it because I used to just kind of go on social media after games and find myself sort of arguing the toss with a lot of people. And I thought that's perhaps not the best use of time. So I just used to go home, write everything down, get all my thoughts for the game written out, and then just kind of put it to one side for the rest of the weekend. And I just turned that into something a bit more constructive. And over time, it's developed into less of me kind of just ranting and more of a constructive piece about sort of the inner workings of the club, really. So yeah, it has developed quite a bit in 8 to 9 months, and I enjoy it, especially now that you can't watch football, because it's an extra opportunity to connect with people, communicate with people. I get some predominantly good feedback, and it's just nice to talk to supporters when you don't get the opportunity to talk to them when you're coming along to games.
And early days, we won league games this season, a couple of cup games. What's your take on it so far, and how do you expect the season to go?
Despite all the difficulties of the summer, I didn't have any concerns coming into the season. I anticipate us being up there this season. I don't see any reason why we can't. We've still kept a lot of players from last year, and we had a very good season last year. But I think the most exciting thing is getting to see those young players come through. I mean, already in the early few games, the best part of those games has been seeing the likes of Josh Keane, Joel Randall last weekend. Those are certainly the main takeaways I get from games at the moment. And the fact that they've just come in and looked so accomplished so quickly, it's hugely pleasing. But I think it also gives us hope for the season that those players are only going to continue to get better. There's a large group of them. Keane Randall have obviously been the standout so far, but don't see any reason why the others can't, when they get their opportunity, do similar good things. So yeah, it gives a lot of hope for the season, I think.
And going on their sort of interview response to playing and scoring, I think it says a lot about they're playing for the right reasons, aren't they? Which is refreshing to see.
Yeah, I think it was Josh after the Forest Green game said about playing for your local club, and that's kind of where you want to be as a young footballer in this area of the country. So yeah, exactly that. It's good to see the sort of pride they take in playing for Exeter. And I was reading the other day, Joel's, I think he's been here since he was like 11 years old. So it's a long journey for them, 7-8 years of hard work, of no doubt parents doing the miles, driving them here, there and everywhere for training, and to get to the point where you're scoring a league goal opening game of the season must be a really proud moment.
Absolutely. I mean, and we're facing Port Vale next, a team which has certainly strengthened over the summer. Will be a tough test. I mean, what are you expecting from the game?
Yeah, exactly that. I think they have recruited as well as anybody in this league on not a massive budget. I think there are certain clubs who have obviously spent more than others, but on a fair budget, I think they've recruited well, particularly in forward areas, and I expect them to be there or thereabouts this season. They had a good season last year. They seem to be a club that have kind of built steadily year by year, and I didn't anticipate it being a really tough game, but we are good at home, so I'm sure they'll be expecting an equally tough fixture.
Absolutely, unbeaten in the league since last September. So put you on the spot, and what do you reckon the score is going to be?
I'm not great with predictions. I always sit on the fence. Draw. I'll be happy with a point. Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Thank you, David. Oh, hey, Will, what are you up to?
Hey, Scott. Just chilling in the sand, reading a copy of the Grecian from last season.
Is that one of the award-winning ones?
It's one of the award-winning copies of the Grecian. It's from the start of last season. I think just looking at the Matt J article, a good start to 2020. So, yeah, that panned out.
I'm hearing good news about this season's as well.
Yeah, this season's looking really good. We're working on it this week. We're putting lots of new content together, bringing back some popular features from last season. So we're working with our program partners at Scene and Design, who've been absolutely brilliant, and we've got an amazing team of contributors and writers, and obviously support from the media team, or working in the media team, and doing some great stuff. So we're really excited about putting it all together and making it available for fans this weekend.
Fans can't be here, obviously, which is, gutting, but why not get a souvenir of the match? You might look back at this in 20 years' time and think, it was a key part of City's history.
I was going to say it sucked. I'm sat in the stand and waiting for people to join me, and hopefully they can soon. But yeah, the programmes will be available from Friday. You can pre-order them now via the club shop. As I said, lots of new features, including the Academy Drills feature for young fans and upcoming coaches, local press, the ECFC Museum, obviously Matt Taylor's notes, and this week we've got an exclusive interview with this week's cover star, Mr. Archie Collins. We've got a Q&A with Archie, including some questions from fans, some great questions sent in via Facebook and Twitter. So yeah, as always this season we're looking to get people involved as much as possible. But yeah, the Grecian obviously would appreciate the support of the fans, and with only 200 physical copies being produced, it's limited edition. So it's definitely a special one to get hold of. But if you can't, don't worry. You can download the programme via the Matchday Info app, and more details of that are available on the club website.
And season ticket holders are given a free access to a download as well, aren't they? So they should keep an eye out for the email?
Yeah, 100%. There's an email going out, and there'll be further news going out. But of course, while season ticket holders and fans can't return to the ground, we felt that those who have supported the club through purchasing their season ticket early should get a free copy of the Grecian, and again they'll be able to download that from the Matchday Info app using their season ticket number as a redeem voucher. So again, look out for the email and get the information from there. But hopefully I know there is lots of great content in there for people to read and enjoy, and it's a way of connecting with the match day when you can't be at the ground.
So that's all for today's Park Life as the grounds team get the pitch ready for today's game. We really hope you've enjoyed the New Look show with the New Look host, and of course make sure you can watch the game this afternoon on iFollow, and also follow us all on social media on Facebook and Twitter ahead of today's game. There's just one last thing to say, and that is come on City!